Alright, hello everyone and welcome to our last exhibition round for wheel-to-wheel racing. We're with Division 2. We'll be starting our Season 5 next week, so this is just a little bit of a fun round into Lagos in the GR3 cars. Everyone's starting to get their liveries going, so we'll have a look at those as well. I want to be one of your commentators, Footner, and with me tonight we've got GT Zoomin.
How you going?
GT's first time in the commentary box. How are you feeling?
Oh, look, I'm a little bit nervous. Never done anything like this before, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Looking forward to a good night of racing.
Yeah, I think it's shaping up to be a good battle. We got G-Force and Squiddy neck and neck at the top of the leaderboard there. There's only a hair in it at the moment. It is also Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Trying to sound not as creepy as, as I could do there. So we're not too far away from quali here. 5 minutes, no fuel, no tyre wear, so everyone's just going to go straight out the gate and set some flying laps. Have you had much experience around here in the GR3, Zoomin?
Look, man, I did quite a few practice sessions actually. Me and one of the teammates, we spent about 3-4 hours around here, just lap after lap after lap, bumper to bumper. And so, yeah, I'd say we've done a little bit. I don't know what the other teams have done, but I'm looking forward to the racing, really. It's a good track. Yeah,
what kind of car do you reckon is going to excel? Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question, man. That's a really good question. I think the BMWs are really, really strong around here.
I'd agree there. Squidly's going to be a force to be reckoned with in that.
He will.
With his nice looking Ink Motorsport livery there. The quali shouldn't be too far away. Tonight we're going to be bringing you 10 laps in race 1, and then we're going to do a reverse grid 19 lapper. So that one's going to be interesting. We're going to see some strategy come into play. We do have fuel and tyre wear set on for the race, just not qualifying. Just to eliminate, the fuel burning strategies that come in there. Alright, qualifying's on the way. Who's going to get the jump? Who's going to lead the pack around? So we got Pagani out first in the Lexus.
Get that nice early lead. Don't have to worry about all the traffic.
Yeah, it's a good spot to be in, Collie. You got no one in front of you for a while, and especially with no fuel and tyre wear on, he's just going to be able to just go straight away. As long as he doesn't make any mistakes, you should have clean track for the rest of the quali. Everyone else is kind of going to have to settle into a bit of a line with enough gap before and after to ensure they don't get held up.
Scooty was lucky to get out second as well. He'll be able to get some good times depending on how him and Seedy are fighting. But yeah, I think the others are definitely going to be clumped up.
It's a bit of a balance you're trying to find. You want a little bit of slipstream, but you don't want to catch the person in front. So everyone's just having that little bit of a mental battle with themselves at the moment, trying to work out where they want to be positioned to start their first flying lap.
It actually looks like Pagani's slowing down, maybe to get some slipstream for the next lap, so then Scooty through.
He must be, yeah.
Interesting.
Possibly just wanting to follow onto the faster guys. It's not necessarily a bad strat. A lot of guys tend to be faster while they're following. Just gives them a bit of a cue for braking and turn-in markers and all that. So we're going to have Squidly leading the way as he rounds to the second to last turn. Getting all sorts of sideways.
Yeah. This is shaping up to be really good qualifying. Looking forward to the end of it.
So ZD latched onto some slipstream there. G-Force gang probably just close enough to be picking up some of ZD's slipstream too. FT1 quite strong around here. G-Force showing some great pace in the practice as well, so he's going to be one to watch, that's for sure. Viking Racer also in the FT1.
K-Boy's into the pits, not sure why, but...
Fuel burn must be on, that's why.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So there is fuel burn on at the moment. We're on board with Viking at the moment. Looks like he's got Pagani hot on his heels. Picking up some nice slipstream from G-Force as well. So we're looking for Div 2 times, probably low to mid or mid to high 131s. I think anyone around the 1:31.5 is going to be shaping up to be right near the top. But it's a matter of stringing that lap together. Not the easiest task, and we've only got 1 or 2 shots at it.
Yeah, well, it's a tricky track, and it really is hard to put a whole one good lap around. Yeah, no, it's easy enough to mess up.
A few people joining us. Hello to everyone watching the stream right now. The 13 legends.
Now, I believe that this session has tyre wear on it, so I don't think it's been turned off actually.
There's just fuel burn and tyre wear on as well, yep. Squiddly coming across the line with the 1:31.4, that's very fast. G-Force going not far behind, 0.098 seconds back.
He jumped to third.
Bit of a gap to Vintage, but the FT1's showing stronger. Early split the FT1s there. Early's popped up into third with a 1:31.7. So everyone's crossed the start line now. So provisionally we've got Squiddy sitting on pole, less than 1/10 up from G-Force, followed by Early in the BMW. So BMWs and FT1s are absolutely dominating the front of quali at the moment. Early up on his sector as well.
And I just want to
so
highlight.
Now everyone's got. Oops, sorry, go.
You got to think also that Squiddy's got no slipstream comparing to the other guys like G-Force and Early. So it'll be interesting to see, with G-Force and Early, if they do get out by themselves, how much their pace will be affected by that.
Yeah, that's true. So everyone's got their banker now. So the boys like Squidly, G-Force, Early, Viking, or Vintage, sorry. All of those guys, they've got a safe banker in. They're up near the top of the grid. They're going to be on a proper win it or bin it lap right now. Nothing to lose. So we're either going to see them, a bit behind their time, or they're going to absolutely smash their best at the moment. The Squidly just about to cross the line. See what he can do. He will get one more lap as well, because he is crossing it before. G-Force also getting one more lap. Not getting closer to their times though. Early making a small improvement. So anyone else that crosses the line now isn't going to get another lap. Early's up to second. Early did better his lap.
Only just though, only just.
He had some massive slipstream there. He was glued onto the back of Rex's bumper across the line, getting the tow from that Mustang.
No, I believe.
So we got Squidly, ZD, G-Force still going around the track. Pagani on another flyer. So 4 guys made it across the line with enough time. And Viking Racer. 5 of them made it across the line with enough time for a third lap. So it goes to show how important it is to get out in front at quali. So you've just given yourself another lap to have a go. G-Force going to be looking to get that second or get that front row start back. He's going to be pushing hard. He's got ZD in front of him. ZD going a bit wide. ZD off. There's contact between the two. Pagani coming through now. Pagani getting held up there. He's going to latch into that slipstream regardless. Is anyone going to better their time? Squidly about to cross the line. He has not bettered his time. So that's everyone across the line now. So Squidly is going to be your pole sitter, followed by Early in second, G-Force in third, Vintage Racer fourth, Rex in fifth, Pagani sixth, K-Boy seventh, Hustle NZ 8th, ZD in 9th, Ripdoc 10th, Hippo this 11th, and Viking Racer in 12th. Strap yourselves in, boys. We're about to go racing. 10 laps around Interlagos in the GR3s. BMW locking out the front row there.
Shaping up to be a really good race.
So with 10 laps, I think it is going to be possible to no stop. I think we're going to see a mix between some no stops and some one stops here. So we're on board with Squidly for the start here. Not the greatest launch, but he's kept it in first, looking under pressure from Early. Squidly in deep. Early's dipped underneath to get the lead. Everyone else pretty clean back. G-Force keeping his third position. Garney jumping one up to 5th. Didi looks to be one of the big losers there, dropping down a bunch of positions, falling down to 11th. So Early and Squid being teammates, they're just going to work together to try and bridge a gap so no one gets slipstream behind, and then they can settle into their own race. I don't think it's going to be smart for the two BMW teammates to start battling. Unless Early starts holding Squidly up, then he might put a move on. But I think with Early's pace, there's not going to be any hold-ups there at all. G-Force looking comfortable there in third. Rex following him closely behind in the Mustang. That nice Stone Brothers Vodafone livery. Pagani looking racy, just running into the back of Rex there. Just a bit too much throttle early on, costing him 2 positions there. Ripdoc and Vintage both capitalising. So Vintage up to 5th now in that Lexus. Pagani going to be looking to make some of that time back.
Sorry about that, I'm back. Just had some visitors come over.
So Early leading after lap 1. Very narrow lead over Squidly. Just starting to edge out a small gap to G-Force back there. They've opened up a couple of tenths. Nearly a second there. So G-Force going to have to get his skates on. Clutch onto the back there. Rex doing a good job there in 4th. Just sitting comfortable.
It's a good battle going on for 10th and 11th right now. Zeddy and Vice.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of time difference. So season 5, we're bringing out a bunch of different manufacturers this time. We've got BMW, so a lot of the guys in his lobby, especially racing with the M6. Toyota, so the choice of the FT1 or the Supra. Seems like a lot of people have chosen the FT1 as well. Would have thought that could have gone the other way. There's also got Fords, so the Mustangs or the GT40s. We've got Aston Martins as well, Mercedes, of course, Lexus. So a bit of variety here.
Also going on top of that, I don't think there's any Audis in this division actually anymore. I think Dive Bomb was moved up to Div 1, so we'll be seeing him later tonight. Yeah,
it's true. Dive Bomb's putting on a good showing last week in our GR4s at Seaside Reverse. Absolutely destroying the field in that Audi TT until Squidly managed to get the win away from him in the second race though. So Rex putting a move on G-Force there. Rex has got the move done. Rex is up into 3rd in that Mustang now, following Squidly around turn 2 or turn 3 in that BMW. Squidly just sitting pretty behind early, possibly saving some fuel, saving some tyre, looking for a late race charge. Mustang seems to be quite thirsty. Definitely got a lot more fuel usage than the rest of the cars going on there.
Oh, Squiddy nearly up the inside of early just then.
Well, everyone's looking racy.
Oh, Squiddy's up into 1st. He's done it around the outside.
Squidly getting the move done. Around the outside.
And Rex is coming onto the inside of early, so I'm not sure what's happening with early at the moment. Maybe he's fuel saving a little bit, but
early possibly making a mistake, just putting his car in the wrong spot and then getting capitalised on. He's got the inside for this turn though, so he's not giving up second yet. Settles back in there. G-Force looking very racy on the back of Rex there, and Vintage Racer right in the mix still as well. Bit of a gap back to Ripdoc in the Jag. It's only 1.2 seconds though, so it's not too bad. With the top 5 in close proximity, they will start costing themselves time, so Ripdoc can easily latch onto the back of this. Bit more of a gap back to Hippo in 7th, who's leading a small battle pack between Pagani and K-Boy there. ZD managing to find himself another position, up to 10th.
This race has gone off on the first corner. Not sure what happened there, if there's a little bit of Robin racing, but Rex is up into 2nd now.
Oh yeah, that's a big moment there from Vintage. Lost a lot of positions there. He was doing so well. He was up to 5th. He was looking racy. He was looking good. Just saving some fuel, saving some tyre, sitting in behind. So Rex has managed to take 2nd from Early. We've got Rex up to P2. Early wants to challenge. He's not sending the move up the inside. He's looking for the undercut. It's not going to happen here. He's going to look to get a good run out of here and just last minute dive into the inside possibly on this turn. Great overtaking opportunity this hairpin. No, Rex very defensive. Rex very defensive. Rex putting the pressure on Squidley now. Squidley not managing to pull away and just bridge that gap. A lap 4 now, it is possible if someone's planning to do a pit stop, they can jump in now for an undercut. Anyone who is stopping, we'll probably see them dive in between laps 4, 5 and 6. 5 obviously splitting the middle, arguably being the faster of the 3 strategies. But overcut and undercut both have potential based on your track position. As Rex has said,
first, yeah.
Rex just using the grunt of that Mustang just to sail past Squidley and take the lead. Defensive line into turn 1. Squidley just backing out of that move. I think he backed out of that just to avoid contact. It's probably not a bad move. Halfway through the race, you don't want to take someone out and have to redress and lose all that time.
Exactly.
The G4 still on the back here, doing a great job saving some tyre, saving some fuel. BMW looks to be quite good on their fuel though.
Yeah. I think G-Force is going to come really strong on the end of the race because, like you said, he's just sitting there behind the slipstream, saving tyres, saving fuel, have all of it at the end of the stream.
Yeah, I think he's just biding his time. G-Man, very cool, calm and collected driver. Also done some commentating for us, very active in the Discord as well. Just an all-round general great bloke. Keen to see what he can do now that he's back in the wheel for Season 5. Everyone's still real close in this front battle pack. Is anyone going to dive into the pits? We'll hang on board with this just to see if anyone dives into the pits. Oh, Rex using all the track and then a bit more. Squidley absolutely nestled in his slipstream here. Will anyone dart left? We got Rexy going in. Just using a bit too much fuel and tyre in that big tank of a Mustang, I'm guessing. Everyone else looks like they're going to get home on fuel quite easily. Tyre wear may come into it though. G-Force just dipping a wheel. Oh, he's round. G-Force has just gone around on turn 1 there. That is upsetting. He's kept 3rd place though. He has kept 3rd, which is 4th after Rex comes out in front, I'm guessing. May possibly get the run and take 3rd away from him. It's brought Hippo this right into the mix.
And
also in that Mustang. Hasn't pit yet.
The change had a really good run out of that corner.
Yeah, Squid giving up first there. Must have made a mistake. I can't see him doing that for tactics. Not when it was just those two. So he got Rex 7 seconds back now. He's on fresh rubber. He didn't need to put fuel in, so his car is going to get lighter. He will get faster. Rex also owns the fastest lap at the moment with a 31.2, possibly helped by some slipstream. Now he's got some clear track. Let's see what he can do on this fresh rubber. The gap's coming down massively already. It's already down to 6.2 seconds. The middle section of this track, very reliant on tyre grip. Cars like the Mustang, quite heavy, that'll scrub out their fronts and even the rears, like just putting the loud pedal down a bit too much. You're going to really notice that time loss through the middle sections. So Rex really going to be looking to nail that middle section lap after lap now on his fresh rubber and try and latch on the back of this battle pack up front. These Early and Squidley going to have to be careful not to start fighting now, because they won't be able to defend on against Rex's fresh rubber very easily. We'll have a quick run back through the pack, see who's sitting where. G4 still keeping that 4th from Hippo. Hippo just tapering off a little bit from the back of him there. Pagani making a nice recovery, getting up to 6th, looking under pressure from ZD at the moment. He's going defensive.
That's a good little race going down at the back of the pack.
Pagani keeping 6th there from ZD. Didi looking very racy. Dropped down to 11th after the start, and he's already up to 7th. Is he done? Does he have a few more moves? Got to be careful not to get under pressure from K-Boy there. K-Boy really looking close to this battle pack now. Also bringing Ripdoc with him. Ripdoc pit on fresh tyres. Everyone else in front on the old rubber. So Ripdoc getting held up now. He wants to make some moves stick. Looking to send it round the outside of K-Boy at the moment. Looks like he's made it stick. He's got the inside for the next turn. He has. He's taken 8 from K-Boy. Showing you the difference there of that fresh rubber versus old rubber. ZD gets it all wrong. ZD has a big moment. Pushing him wide in there. Ripdoc taking 7th now. Ripdoc absolutely on the charge at the moment. Next on his list is Pagani. Less than a second up the road. Rex getting that gap down to the leaders to 5 seconds. He's got 3 laps to knock another 5 off. That's not looking too good at the moment. Boys up front keeping it real clean, just driving their own race, not losing time. Looks like they're going to net themselves a nice 1-2 here, unless any sort of mistakes creep in. Rex bringing home a solid drive in 3rd at the moment, opening that gap up to G-Force Gang quite substantially. He's also opening that gap to Hippo. Everyone's settling in their positions pretty much in the front too. Ripdoc's managed to find the back of Pagani here. We'll jump on board with this battle for 6th. Pagani did not pit, is on old tyres. Ripdoc on fresh tyres. Should be easy for Ripdoc. It's just going to be a matter of where. He's gone deep to get a nice run out of here. Are we going to see him dart to the right? We are not. He's just keeping his nose out of it.
It was bloody close, yeah.
Can't get closer than that.
Nice clean racing though, which is always good to see.
Gotta say, Ripdoc's car does look amazing. He's taken the old Jaguar livery and put it on a new car, and he's done a sensational job. Oh, G-Force has had an error again. G-Force down to 7th now. Missed what happened there. G-Force is getting really unlucky this race. That FT1 is an absolute rocket ship around here. Just maybe getting a bit loose on the old tyres there. I do know what that's like based on season 4. So Ripdoc up the inside of Pagani now on turn 1. He should be able to make this stick. He goes deep, but he brings it back. He's comfortably taken 5th there. Looks like he may be able to get on the back of Hippo as well before the end of this race. Only 1.8 seconds back. Hippo's tyres looking absolutely murdered at the moment. Hippo is going to have his work cut out for him, muscling that Mustang around for another nearly 2 laps. The boys up front still keeping that gap to Rex. Rex just looking like he's not going to get in this fight here. Showing you the time difference between the no-stop and the one-stops there. Although I think if Squidly wants this win, he's going to start making some moves. So we may see some time loss yet. They may go side by side through a couple corners here. Strap yourselves in for a great last lap. They're playing for sheep stations. Bragging rights are on the line here. They both want to be the fastest BMW in Div 2. Rex only 3 seconds back. Just a couple side-by-side corners.
For turn 1. And he gets it. He does. He slots in there nicely, which is always good to see.
Yes. Winner. Oh, contact as well. Whoa. Early wants that position back.
I think we'll see early maybe make a dive up the inside on this next corner.
They've got to be careful. Rex is coming in hot. 2.5 seconds back now. He took half a second out in just the first series of corners. As that time continues to fall now, it's 2.4, approaching 2.3. What are Squid and Early going to do? Are they going to work together and take the 1-2, or are they in it for themselves and they want that W? Great racing from Squid here so far. He put it on pole. He's led most of the laps. Shaping up to possibly take the win here. He's just got to defend a bit from Early. Early doing a great job on his tyres though. Early having a little bit more tyre wear. to play with than Squid. We've only got one corner left, and then it's the big, long slipstream straight. Rex is 1.8 seconds back. Oh, they're wide, they're deep. Early's in the fence. Early's in the fence. He's got damage. He's got the engine damage, the front suspension damage, and the front bumper damage. He's still in third, 16 seconds. Oh, the gap's climbing. Early needs that car to sort out, but can't take it away from Squidly. Absolutely great race from Squidly. Rex managing to come home in second after doing the alternative strategy of the one-stop. Arguably getting gifted P2 there. That's very unlucky for Early, who's just about to lose third. He's lost third, but he's collected in fourth. So first and fourth for the BMWs. It's not a bad result there. Early, very unlucky. The last corner of 10 laps, just throwing it away. The Pagani moving up to third. We saw Pagani with an incident earlier in the race. He managed to claw his way back up to third. That's a fantastic drive. Ripdoc coming home in fifth, followed by Hippo this. So Ripdoc did get around Hippo. We missed that action with all the other stuff going on the track. G-Force, couple of mistakes in that race, but showed some great pace and brought home seventh, followed by K-Boy in eighth, Hustle NZ in ninth. ZD dropping down to 10th in the end there. Vintage also after his big moment, coming home in 11th, and then Viking rounding out the field in 12th. So congratulations, Squidly. Nice race there. Good pace in the BMW. Now you've got to do it all from the back, though.
Yeah, it's always good fun watching the second race, seeing all the fast guys from the back coming through.
Yeah, that's for sure. Reverse grid really brings out the best in everyone. You've got to keep your average lap pace up, so you've got to lap quick, but you've got to do it with traffic in front of you. You've really got to make the moves at the right time. You don't want to get stuck in battles and just let people drive away in front of you. So small break here, just a couple minutes. Let the boys have some water, have a bit of a stretch, shake it out, get settled for the next race. This one's 19 laps, so it's going to take approximately half an hour. It is reverse grid, as we've mentioned, so Squidly starting from the back. I think G-Force, after just making a few errors there, finishing in 7th, that's going to get him a 5th place grid start for this one. I think he's going to be able to dispatch the guys in front relatively quick, and if he can just pull away, I think he's going to be a hard one to catch in this one. What are your thoughts for this race, Zimmerman?
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to go with Rex. I think he's got plenty of pace, and obviously the tyres aren't the greatest thing, but I think strategy-wise, I think he's going to be one of the fastest ones around, and having that a little bit of advantage over Squiddy with the starting position. So, yeah.
Yeah, not a bad point there as well. With 19 laps, we do open up lots of different strategies. You can break it into a 2-stop, do a 9 and a 10. A lot of the guys obviously managing to get 10 laps out right now, so possible 1-stop. You also open up the 2-stop with combinations of 6s and 7 lap stints. So depending on the time loss with the worn tyres, pit stop here costs you about 6 to 7 seconds. So if you can make that time back on that fresh rubber, which I wouldn't say isn't out of the question, we could possibly see a mixture of 1 and 2 stops here. Not sure which one's the fastest though, so we're going to be learning that one together. Boys just having a bit of a chat in the chat room there. ZD dropping an apology. Must have had a moment. Did well, ZD, getting up to 7th, I think, at one point. Must have had a small moment just to drop down to 10th. He showed some good pace, nice racecraft as well. He's going to be starting up near the front as well. Should be 3rd from my calculations. Alright, so we're going to use this time now just to transition into one of our other little segments. I think a few people are going to know what's coming. But I've got a treat for everyone today. Full credit goes to Tombo here. He's done a little jingle. Here we go.
Strap yourself in, people, because it's time for everybody's favorite segment, Footness Fun Facts.
That's right, we're back another week with Footness Fun facts, everyone's favourite segment. Today, I've got an absolute banger of a fact for you. You're going to impress your friends and your family. So, alligators have permanently erect penises. How weird is that one?
Look, that's one of the facts I would have been happy not to know, but yep, there you go.
Everyone, I don't think many people would have known that one, so just dropping some knowledge bombs on you. We're not just a racing channel, we're an educational channel. Share it around to your family and your friends, your neighbour's cat, your pet dog, everyone. Everyone needs to watch this. We've got great action, we've got education, we've got it all. Soon to be jumping into our 19-lap reverse grid race around Interlagos in our GR3 cars. This is our last exhibition round before we begin Season 5. So Season 5 will be next week, next Sunday. We'll be streaming that one to you as well, so tune into that. We've got a 12-round season consisting of 6 GR3 rounds and 6 GR4 rounds, much like the FIA Manufacturers Championship. We've already done the track votes, everyone's getting their liveries done, but it isn't too late for you guys to jump in. If anyone wants to jump into this series, I do highly recommend it. We're a very diverse community. We are very accepting of people of all skill levels. We've got multiple divisions, just like here we're in Div 2, and we are just about to start our reverse grid race here. I reckon we'll get on board with Squidly so we get a good view of everything happening in the front here. We're away. Rex straight to the inside. Everyone braking early, that's good to see. Pretty clean, very clean first corner so far. Squid just settling in at the back there. A bit of a mumble jumble at the front there.
Yeah.
Oh, someone wide, we got contact. They're on the grass. They've kept it together.
In the middle pack right there.
A lot of good car control on offer. They're still battering each other. Oh, it's a bit messy into turn 2 or turn 4. I think this one is. Oh boy, settle it down.
He's caught it. He's caught it. That's a good catch.
Hippo just dipping a wheel. Not a good place to do it on the AstroTurf around here.
Someone's out in the background. Not sure who that is.
Yeah, Hippo.
Oh yeah.
Hippo just trying to gather his car up. Just hasn't done it well enough. That's unlucky there. So Squidly jumping up to 8th. That's very good. G-Force dropping down to 7th. The G-Force getting a bit unlucky there. He's got a bit of damage. Looks like he's copped a whack from someone. G-Force was going to be the man to watch if he could get out in front and drive away while Squidly was stuck in the pack now. But now they're side by side. Well, not side by side. They're running next to behind each other. Rex following Squidly around. So the top two you're going to find themselves very soon here, with Early looking to clutch onto the back of Pagani's slipstream and get himself back in the mix here. We've got the one and only Vintage Racer leading the boys around with a nearly 2-second advantage on the first lap. Vintage showing great pace in Road 1, just making a small error going deep into Turn 1 and then rejoining in a massive cluster of cars, costing him a lot of time. He's absolutely nailed that first section of corners and opened that gap up even more. As we see Viking Racer coming under mad pressure now from K-Boy. He's managed to drive around him before the start of the corner. Pulling it up nicely, slotting into second there, so K-Boy up to second. ZD also strong showing in fourth so far, looking to put the pressure on Viking as well. He's got the car up on the inside. He's late on the brakes, he takes the position away from Viking. So Viking just out of his rhythm at the moment, he's going to have to settle in and start hitting his apexes. He's getting under pressure from Hustle now. It's all happening for poor Viking. He's got a mission on his hands at the moment. As Hustle sends it up the inside with a bit of contact, he looks like he's going to redress. He's just a bit late on the throttle, just to let Viking Racer slot back in. As Ripdock's around, Ripdock and G-Force off. both of them. Was there? I'm not sure if we saw what was going on there.
That's a shame with G-Force. He just got up to 6 from the last time I saw him. He was slowly working his way back up from
G-Force
the first lap.
just getting his car sorted very slowly. I think must be a bit frustrated. He's got engine damage. G-Force's car's cleared up. He's down at the back though. That's not a great thing to see. Contact, you don't want that in the race.
And Vintage Race has already put that gap to 3.2 seconds out in front. He's going to be a real contender for this race, I think.
Oh, definitely. Vintage Racer was cruising around most of race 1 in 5th position, I think it was, until he had that error. So, very fast driver. He's also going to be doing the visuals for you guys for the Div 1 race following up after this. It's going to be at 7 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's what our premier division is. All the fast guys are there, so we'll be able to bring you guys some great racing as well. Make sure you get some dinner ready, chuck it on the big screen TV. Have a watch. So Squidley and Rex finding themselves up to 6th and 7th respectively. Pagani closely following there in 8th, with Early still trying to clutch onto Pagani's slipstream there and get himself back in the mix and come through the pack with the other guys. Squidley looking real racy on the back of Hustle though. Hustle may be losing his 5th position very soon with how Squidley's going. Although Squidley's now going to defend from Rex. K-Boy taking a little bit of time out of Vintage at the moment, so he's managed to find his rhythm. Pulling ZD along in the tow as well. The Vintage Racer possibly just settling in now. Not pushing too hard, not going to use too much of his tyre.
Hustle's been put back to 7th now. Lost a few positions.
Oh, and Rex down to 8th. Rex has dropped down 8th as well, so Pagani's net 2 positions there. He's got up to 6th right behind Squid. Squid's gone from 12th to 5th in 3.5 laps at the moment. So he's looking real good. He's 6.5 seconds off the leader. Viking Racer's next on his hit list. 1.3 seconds up the road. 1.1 second up the road. The time is falling down between Squidley and Viking Racer at the moment. The Viking's doing a great job hanging on to the back of ZD's slipstream there. Really helping him pull that FT1 around this tricky circuit. K-Boy must have made a small mistake, I reckon. Vintage Racer's opened that gap right up to 3.5 seconds again. The Vintage Racer possibly going to be the man to watch in this race, I reckon. He's putting in some nice, clean, consistent laps there. Not putting a foot wrong at the moment, but it is a long race. 19 laps, plenty of opportunities for things to go south. Oh, I've got technical difficulties. Keyboard stopped working. So we do work with a few limitations, streaming to you guys on GT Sport as well.
And Squiddy coming together in that first corner.
Oh yeah, they've both managed to take Viking Racer. The Viking Racer going from 4th to 6th in a series of corners. Now possibly 7th with Rex looking to send the move up the inside. As he brakes really late, still pulls it up. That's a very deep on the brakes from Rex. Nice move though, he gets it done cleanly without contact. There's Pagani looking real racy next to Squidley up the road there. Looking to hold it around the outside. Just not enough speed around the outside to let that happen. Small touch to Squidley there. Doesn't do any damage. Boys will keep going. Oh, he's just got on the loud pedal a bit too much and he's found the fence. Just got the rear end loose and it's just speared him straight in the fence on the right there. Dropping down 4 positions. So Squidley now got no pressure behind and he's got a small gap to ZD in front. Squidley and ZD, very good friends. Both absolute legends. Squidley's going to be bringing some commentary to you later for the Div 1 guys, along with Rex in the Mustang who's following him. These guys love being together, whether it's in the commentary box or the track. Vintage keeping that gap consistent. K-Boy doing a great job, just settling into a rhythm. Tyres looking pretty worn here, so being this is lap 6, we're going to open up the door for those 2-stop opportunities now. Anyone that's going on a 2-stop will see pit about lap 6 or 7. They'll split it up with probably 2 6-lap stints and then a 7. Arguably, the fastest way to do that strategy will be a 6-6-7, so you're doing the 7 laps when your car's as light as possible. But very much open to interpretation based on track position and how you're feeling. If you're in a rhythm, you don't want to break that, obviously.
Actually, I just wanted to note that I'm surprised Early hasn't gone up the leaderboard as far as he is right now. He's just gone past Doc, so they're fighting for the 9th and 10th position right now. But yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that he's not up there.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Looking like his lap times weren't too bad, but he's had one in the 40s, 8 seconds slower than the others. They're possibly just making a mistake or having to come together with someone there. G-Force down at the back there with some clean track. He's actually making time on the pack. He's taken 3 seconds out of the gap to the leader. It's still 28 seconds back. It may not be a long enough race to see G-Force challenge for the win, but I don't think he's going to be wanting to finish last there. We see G-Force putting out these laps like he was doing. I think we'll be able to find some positions. So K-Boy's in the pits on that with that Mustang. So K-Boy on a 2-stop strategy. Rex in the pits as well. Both the Mustangs go on 2-stop. Probably the best way to drive these Mustangs, but we can't be sure. Ripdoc also in the pits.
And I think
Early.
Yeah.
Early in the BMW. Maybe just using a bit too much tyre for his liking. Or just looking to stay with the boys around him so he's got some slipstream. So Squidley's managed to get up to 3rd now, right behind Zeedy. He's getting a great drive out of this corner, looking just to show the nose up. Oh, he backs out of it. Zeedy was going to run him wide. Zeedy's saying, no, you're not having this position. But this is just giving Vintage all the time in the world he needs. That gap's just increasing by tenths as these two fight. Squidley wants to find his way around. Zeedy doesn't want to give up his position. As Squid looks for the inside, he doesn't get it. Zeedy taking a very defensive line there. Squid getting great drive out of the corner, possibly looking for the undercut. It looks like it's on the cards. He's just got his nose up there. He's going to be late on the brakes. No, he pulls out of the move. He wants Zeedy's slipstream because he knows if he took that position, Zeedy was just going to take him back on the straight. So we're going to look for a possible move here from Squidley into turn 1. Vintage diving into the pits up ahead. So Vintage also on a 2-stop. Zeedy into the pits. Everyone on 2 stops except Squidley so far. Squidley staying out. Probably going to do the 1-stopper. Can't see a 2-stop being worth it doing an 8-lap stint, to be honest. Viking also staying out. So Viking netting himself 2nd position here in that FT1. Tyres looking great. Fuel looking a little bit worse than Squidley, but FT1 does love to have its neck wrung out of it. So we'll let everyone come out the pits and we'll do a quick reassess of positions. See who's gained in that series of pit stops and who has lost out. So Vintage settling back into the race in 3rd position with a absolute field of track either side of him. He's got 5 seconds in front and behind. Rex in 4th, driving side by side with K-Boy. They both pit together in those Mustangs. So they've got 6 seconds now to find on Vintage. They're going to want to work together. They've got a lot of power, those Mustangs. Very fast in a straight line. Just a bit heavy on fuel and tyres by the looks of it. K-Boy not looking too bad actually. He filled up his tank nearly all the way. So he's looking like he might be able to get home without taking fuel, which is going to net him a lot more time in the pit stops when they stop next. Rexy not going to have enough fuel to see him home. CD popping out in 6th behind the 2 Mustangs as well, so dropping down from his 2nd position. So the 2 boys in front of the Mustangs just getting that undercut, getting that time back on their outlap, where Zeedy was lapping on the older tyres for his 7th lap. But he does have the fresher tyres now, so he's been showing great pace this race. Going to be looking for ZD to really start hassling the back of these Mustangs.
Yeah, we'll say,
Early.
I think, early. He's gained a few positions out of the pits, but right behind that pack.
Yeah, he has. I don't think he took any fuel on whatsoever. He is low on fuel, so he is going to need to spend a bit more time in the pits on his second stop, sorry.
Looks up the inside of the ZD, but doesn't quite get off far enough for it.
He does have the light fuel load, so that does make a difference in this game as well. Your car does get lighter, you do go faster, you can corner quicker. You know, it's a good strategy. He's running his car real light. Look, as he looks for the inside on ZD right now. ZD cutting across, there's just not enough room there. Early taking that position from ZD. Looking to get straight on the back of those Mustangs.
I believe Vintage Race has gone up to second as well, slowly closing that gap to Squiddy. I'm not quite sure when he went up to second, but he's closing that gap to first pretty quickly.
Yeah, it took Viking Racer. So Viking Racer possibly making a mistake on those tyres. We're going to see Viking Racer dive into the pits here, I reckon. His fuel's very low, he's flashing at him. Squidley's in. The Squidley's in after 9 laps. The Squidley doing the one stop, 9 and a 10 lap stint. Vintage is going to take the lead. We've got Viking Racer in the pits as well. Squidley saving an absolute truckload of fuel there. BMW is shaping up to be a really competitive car, especially that M6. Such a stable car to drive. May not be the fastest hot lapping car, but my gosh, it has got some race pace with that fuel saving and tyre wear abilities. The Vintage inherits the lead back. Vintage controlling the race from the front. He does have one stop to go, and we've got Squidley 9 seconds back in 7th, just losing a spot to Hustle without the pace from the not having the pace out of the pit lane to push down that straight there. So Squidley's got 9 seconds to find. Vintage has got a pit. We know it's about 7 seconds for a pit stop. Vintage does have to put a splash of fuel in by the looks of it as well, so he's going to be real close at the moment. Vintage with clean track, 5.3 seconds of fresh air back to Rex in that Mustang. So he's just going to settle in, drive his own race, try and save a bit of fuel so he doesn't lose that time in the pit stop, as Squidley's got all the work to do now. And he knows everyone in front's got to pit, but he doesn't want to let Vintage just increase that gap, as it's out to 9.3 seconds now. The Squid going to use these fresh tyres here to try and muscle his way around some of these cars on older tyres. Squidley also fueled up till the end, so his car's a fair bit heavier than people in front of him, with the likes of Hustle running on just a third of a tank, ZD on half. K-Boy fueled up, looking to possibly send a move. No, he pulls out of it. Early's gone up to third though. Early's split the Mustangs now. Early's managed to dispatch K-Boy. He's just settling in behind, and he's now got his eyes set on Rex up ahead there. Rex just enough of a gap to Early that Early's not picking up that slipstream. He's just got to lap clean and consistent, keep that gap over 1.1, 1.2-ish seconds with the new update. Squidley's still behind Hustle there, not managing to get around Hustle yet.
Yeah, I think this is going to affect him as well in the later few laps, being behind Hustle, because obviously he's got a bit more pace over Hustle, so he's being held up just a little bit every lap. Yeah,
ZD looks like he's got around K-Boy there, so those two losing a bit of time there and bringing this to a 4-man battle pack. Squid's up the inside of Hustle. He's got the job done. He's got the traction out of the corner to keep it there. There's a little bit of an overlap. Hustle gives him room, lets him slide in around the outside. Oh, as we've got contact, K-Boy's into the back of ZD. This is great for Squid. Oh, ZD's come across into the path of Squid. Just losing that run. He's going to lose the position to Hustle now. So K-Boy redressing there. Anyone that's not familiar with the rules here with wheel to wheel, we do have a penalty system. We do have stewards. They do review incidents. However, if you redress, it is likely you may not get a penalty because you've obviously served your time there. So we do highly recommend redressing any incidents that happen, especially if you are if you're the cause of the incident. It's the right thing to do to redress. It's just a gentleman's racing league, really. We show each other a lot of respect. Anyone that kind of acts up constantly gets the boot from the league. As we've got ZD into the back of Hustle there. So that's... Oh, Squidly.
Oh, it's messy, it's messy.
Oh, there's contact everywhere. It all started. ZD went into the back of
Hustle's into the wall.
Oh, Hustle's getting absolutely battered from all angles there. He's going to drop a position to Pagani as well now. So ZD just running into the back of Hustle there. Hustle coming in across the track, getting collected again. Squidly driving through the middle of them, parting the seas like Moses. Great awareness from Squidly, gotta say. Although it has cost him a lot of time. He's 10 seconds back on Vintage. 5 seconds back from the battle pack ahead of him of Early and Rex. So Early clutching onto the back of Rex now. He's well planted in that slipstream. Vintage actually losing a little bit of time to these guys as well. So I think we're going to see a few people maybe come in the pits. Those who are doing the 6-6-7 split.
I'm not sure what's happened with G-Force because as we saw, he was slowly catching the pack, but he's gone down a lap now. He's just sitting in the pits, not anything happening. So.
Yeah, I think G-Force has pulled the pin on the race. By the looks of that, doesn't look like he's fueling up or anything. We got Piper in the chat. G'day, Piper. Nice to see you again. So we had K-Boy in the pits, Early in the pits, and Rex in the pits. Where are they going to slot out? So it's given Squidly second. Squidly's now got his eyes locked down on Vintage. Vintage probably going to come in the pits in the next lap as well. Running on a quarter of a tank of fuel there. His tyre wear isn't looking too bad, but it's not great. I think it's going to be the right decision for him to pit now. Squid's got that gap down to just over 8.5 seconds. I think if these two come out anywhere near each other, Vintage is going to have the advantage of fresh tyres. Although Squidly doing a great job saving a bit of tyres while battling. It is very common that people use a bit too much tyre when they start battling. They just want to get around the person in front, but then later in the race it hurts them when their tyre wear's a bit higher.
Yeah, I think with Vintage and Squidly, you'd think Vintage would be coming in this lap, as Squidly is slowly getting that gap closer and closer and closer every lap. So I'll be surprised if Vintage actually stays out, which I think he is.
Yeah, Vintage staying out for another lap. He does not have the fuel to get home. That is for sure. With that gap crumbling down, I would have got in the pits that lap. I think that was the only way he was going to challenge for a win at this point. We're going to see how much... We'll reassess when Vintage jumps in the pits. We'll see how much Squidly's got that gap down. ZD's in the pits. Hustle's in the pits. Pagani's inherited third, and Pagani's fueled up, ready to go for the rest of the race. So Pagani, we saw having that earlier incident, just grabbing a bit too much of the loud pedal and steering him into the fence. But he gathered up quite quick, and he's now fought his way back through the pack up to third. Some of you guys may remember Pagani, who joined me in the commentary box last week. Did a fantastic job. He also streams all his content on YouTube, so you can check him out at YouTube/Pagani Gaming. So behind Pagani, we've got Rex in a freshly tyred, fueled up to the finish Mustang, looking racy. I think we might see Rexy clutch onto the back of Pagani within the next few laps. It is going to be a matter of getting past. As we know, the Mustang does use its tyre. So Early also fueled up till the end with fresh tyres, still behind Rexy there. So he pit from lap, I think they pit from position 2 and 3. They're going to be looking to get that spot back.
As I think
Vintage pulling into the pits now.
Smart move, smart move.
Yeah, definitely. Dropping another 1.5 seconds to Squidly though. That's probably 1.5 seconds he shouldn't have dropped if he pit a lap earlier. He would have been out on fresh tyres, lapping arguably faster than Squidly instead of 1.5 slower. So Squidly back into first place now. I think with the fueling in the pit stop, Squidly's going to inherit a uncatchable lead now.
Yeah, he's played the game very well.
Vintage just rounding the pits. It looks like he's going to lose a position to Rex as well. So Vintage just making a small error on pit stop strategy, I think, there, costing himself second place. It does have fresh tyres, though, so it is entirely possible we're going to see him get around Rexy in no time at all. As Early's also in this mix, so we've got a three-way battle for for second at the moment. ZD down the road 5 seconds. Not sure if he's going to be able to catch the back. He's under pressure from K-Boy as well. And Pagani dropping down to 7th there with a 1:44-minute lap. So mistake there from Pagani by the looks of it. Didn't quite see what happened.
It's shaping up to be a really good race for you, this 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, Squidley always looking real strong in race 2. Those of you who tuned in last week would have seen Squidley win Div 2 reverse seaside race by, I think it was about 10 seconds after we saw GRT Dive Bombs just jump in the pits with 2 laps to go. So Squidley looking to do the same again now with a 9.5 second lead and 4 laps to go. He's just got to keep it clean, keep it on the black stuff. He's doing 1 extra lap than the last stint he did, so tyres are going to suffer. We could see some mistakes creep in. We're not going to write anything off yet. Seen a few mistakes from some drivers throughout the race, so anything can still happen now. As we've got a nice battle for 5th going on. K-Boy really putting pressure on the back of ZD, and we know ZD doesn't want to give up his positions. Especially when there's no chance of catching the guys in front. They're pretty much racing for position now. Pagani's in close proximity. They're only 1.4 seconds down the road, and there's contact between K-Boy and ZD. There's a bit of contact. K-Boy redresses it, gives him the space to rejoin, and it's brought Pagani right back into it. So there we go. Pagani went from 1.4 seconds down to only 0.4 down. He gained a second on this battle pack, just like that. So K-Boy and ZD both possibly put out of their rhythm now. They've just got to put their heads down and focus, get back into the swing of things. ZD's just got to make sure he puts that Merc in all the right places, and K-Boy's got to look for a clean way around ZD. He's not going to do it with a bump like we just saw at turn 4. Oh, so G-Force is out of the pits now. We do have G-Force back on track, pushing around, back in 12th. 2 laps down on the leaders, on the leader. They're not sure what happened there. Possibly something come up, and he just had to sit in the pits for a bit while he gathered himself. But it's good to see him still pushing around the track. Quitting a race does tend to net you a penalty unless it's for a technical reason or any sort of valid personal reason. But quitting
the inside of K-Boy. Not really sure what happened there, but he's netted it pretty well. He was right behind ZD.
Yeah, so Pagani on fresher tyres than the 2 around him, or at least doing a better job at saving his tyres if they all pit at the same time. But Pagani looking like he's really in for a shot for 5th here. Jumping up to the battle for 2nd, we've still got Rexy. Oh, yep, still got Rexy in front of Vintage. Vintage on the fresh tyres, just sitting behind, biding his time. Possibly waiting for a mistake from Rexy. Rexy being very defensive. They're fighting for position. Although they are taking time out of Squid, so possibly a mistake from Squid, or he's just dialed his pace back just to be consistent, maybe. But Rex has taken 2 seconds out of Squidley's lead in the last series of laps. Early back in 4th there with the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:31.167, which was set on lap 15. 1:31.2 on lap 16, and in the slipstream of the cars in front, just a bit slower this race with this time with a 31.7. But it's not over for early yet. It's going to be a fight till the end for 2nd position here.
Yeah, it's really living up to this 2nd position right now. The 2nd, 3rd and 4th are all bumper to bumper right now. It's going to be a good last few laps.
Yeah, we'll just jump back to the battle for 5th as well. There was a bit of contact through the first series of corners there, but they've managed to slot themselves back into their positions. Pagani really putting the pressure on ZD there. ZD taking a defensive line. Pagani looking for an undercut, possibly. No, he's just trying to get the drive out of the corner. ZD doing a good job hooking that Merc up. K-Boy just sitting back, watching it all unfold, waiting. Pagani just not with enough room on the inside.
Yeah, we've
there's
got
a
two
bit more
good battle
contact.
packs coming on at the moment. Yeah, for that second place and for that fifth place. It's going to be really good last couple laps, or last lap.
Yeah, both of them 3 cars each. We don't know where to watch.
Oh, as I think I just saw early slide out a bit and nearly lose it. That's going to be a really good last lap.
Oh, I missed the action. I was possibly on the stream. But we've got Pagani up to 5th. ZD, who was looking under pressure from K-Boy as well, managing to keep 6th. So Pagani up into 5th, looking to drive away from them. He's already got a second lead over ZD. Missed what happened there. Anyone who isn't aware, we do deal with a few limitations in Gran Turismo. Us commentators, we cannot see the live stream. We are watching our own version of the feed, so you may notice sometimes the commentary doesn't quite line up, but we try to do our best to bring you guys a really smooth stream. So we'll jump on board for the battle for second for the last lap. Everyone's still in their order. Rex leading, Vintage leading early. It's anyone's game. I think Vintage has been sitting there biding his time on his fresh tyres. As he comes under a move from early, absolutely sending it up the inside there. Vintage trying to hold it around the outside, which he has done. It's given himself the inside for this turn. There's contact. Now it's Early's turn to hold it around the outside. He's got enough of an overlap. They're going side by side. This is gifting Rexy all the time he needs to keep second. It's a bit dicey, but we've got Vintage down. Oh, Vintage just grabs a bit too much throttle. He loses out on that chance for second. I think the positions are pretty much sorted now. We'll jump on board with Squidly as he crosses the finish line now. 7 seconds up from Rex. So Rex still taking time out of Squidly in the end there, but 7 seconds is a bit too much of a gap to bridge in that lap, that amount of laps. So Squidly is your race winner. Squidly showing real strong today, taking both race wins. Rex followed in second, closely followed by Early, closely followed by Vintage after all that action on the last lap. Pagani keeping 5th, ZD keeping K-Boy in check for 6th, and K-Boy following through in 7th. Ribdoc having a pretty clean race there, in coming home in 8th. As I say that, he spears the fence. Hustle dropping back to 9th there, followed by Hippo this, and Viking Racer rounding out the field on the lead lap, as we've got G-Force 2 laps down there after having a very unlucky moment, getting contact from someone. We missed the action. I didn't quite see who it was. Ended up in the fence with engine damage and then sat idle in the pits for 2 minutes. So not too sure what happened there. So congratulations again to Squidly. He was the man to beat tonight, winning both Race 1 and Race 2 and qualifying on pole. Squidly absolutely unstoppable tonight. Possibly see him up in Div 1 very shortly. But for now, any Squidly fans we have in the audience, you can catch him commentating Div 1. It's about half an hour away from going live. So stay tuned for that one. I have been your commentator Footnar here with GT Zoomin. It's
been a pleasure being here.
Thanks. Fantastic job. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, definitely, man, definitely.
All right, well, I'll see you and a lot of the audience in the Div 1 race in half an hour.
Sweet.
So we'll sign off for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope all your mums are having a great Mother's Day. And we'll see you guys next week for Season 5, Round 1.